Hey, this is Lori, and today we are going to check how to set realistic goals which aren't influenced by social media. This is because social media can heavily impact the goals that we set for ourselves. There is a sense of pressure online to conform to what other people expect us to achieve. For example, the algorithm obviously pushes the most perfect, the most beautiful, and the most aesthetic thing that it can possibly push to us. But the algorithm has a flaw. It keeps pushing the 1% to us over and over, and that causes us to set goals according to how the 1% live their lives. We start to want to achieve what they have, even though, realistically speaking, they're the 1%. What happened to the other 99%? And obviously, this isn't a literal statistic, this is just an example. But in essence, what I'm trying to say is the algorithm has this nature of sending us people who are at the top of their game and people who are almost perfect at what they do. And then we, the average person, or maybe not the average person, maybe the person that is just starting out, we start to set our goals according to what they would like us to aspire, which for me, that doesn't sound realistic. So today we're going to learn how to set realistic goals which are not according to what social media would like for us. So social media has, but first, what are the goals that social media would like for us to have? Well, obviously, social media is the way that social media works is they keep pushing monetary gain to us. Each and every single thing that is wanted online has something to do with monetary gain. Well, not every single thing. Some people want to be really, really intelligent, or some people want to be really beautiful, or some people want to have a business or company or something that has a really lucrative um, way of functioning, right? Like they want money, they want monetary access. And social media, it showcases us this monetary desire. And not only does it showcase the monetary desire, it also showcases people who have achieved their goals very, very publicly. Social media is not about showcasing private goals, it is all about public, obvious, and perfect, almost perfect, ridiculous goals. So, as you can see on the image in front of you, we have someone who has a score of like 100 out of 100 out of 100 out of 100, which would technically mean that this person's scoreboard is perfect. And looking to the side, you can see there's money, there's a car, well, there's luxury cars and luxury brands, and this obviously shows monetary gain. And this is the goals that social media would like us to set for ourselves. When we see these things, we are meant to aspire to the same level that the people on social media have aspired. So we are meant to now look at our lifestyles and then attempt to recreate what social media has pushed towards us. Today, we are going to undo that almost. So let's focus on setting goals which are more realistic. So, my way of doing this is value based goals. So, this is a bit biblical. You don't even have to believe in the Bible, it's just a, a way of speaking almost. If you look there you will find different forms of goals, and these goals are value driven. And these are the goals that we are going to try setting today. So, value driven goals are a lot different than the goals that you find on social media. So, I'm going to be giving a lot of examples and how my goal setting technique differs from the way that social media would showcase these techniques. For example, our first example is a person called, let's call her Mia. Okay, so Mia wants to have a positive relationship. So if Mia goes on social media, what she would see is a bunch of perfect people and perfect couples and perfect and happy relationships. That's what she would see if she went on social media. But if Mia were to be setting value based goals, then she would look inwards and then look to see what she perceives as healthy and what she would like to aspire for. So, for example, Mia's goal would then change from the social media relationship goals, which oftentimes social media also finds a way to turn money into relationships. I don't know how they manage to do this. Oh my god, they turn money into everything. I sound like a hippie, but I'm just saying everything is monetary, even something as basic as a human relationship, which should literally just be able to offer someone a smile. Not being a hippie, money is important, but I'm just saying, come on. You know what I mean? So Mia's goal would then start to look like, what does she believe is needed for a relationship to function? Like, what does Mia want in her relationship? So Mia's value would then become, okay, maybe she believes that, again, like the Bible says, love is patient, love is kind. So that's perhaps what Mia would start aspiring to because that's her values. So if you have other values, for example, say you want to be good at talking to people. Why do you want to be good at talking to people? What is it that you see in people that you want to be like positive towards people for? Like what is your goal? What is your value truly? Like deep down you need to, this is introspective. Like you need to look deep down into yourself and then realize what your values are. So I'll give an example. My biggest value is kindness, or I always say this, like it's a big belief system of mine. So for me, kindness means many things. I know for some people kindness is just something that you do, it is not necessarily something that you think about, but for me kindness is a really big thing. I mean, I attribute kindness to things like equality, right? Like you treat every single person equally regardless of where they're from, what they do, etc., etc. I mean, unless they're a serial killer, I don't think you can treat them equally. But like that's the point. It's almost like HIPAA, like the way a doctor treats people. Like you just treat people in a humane way, right? Like you don't harm people and you don't seek out to harm people either. So that's what I would see as my core value. So my goals when it comes to interacting with people would be like, how can I be the most kind version of myself? So I would go read books on that. I would go online and I would find different resources on how to be a kind person. Instead of aspiring after just monetary goals, I'm also looking to make myself a better person. The reason why I'm saying don't just make your goals monetary isn't wishy washy. The reason why I'm saying this is here's an example. Imagine you are literally the richest man, like or like the richest woman, okay, and you have bank, okay, like you are rolling it, right? But when it comes to your personality or when it comes to you exercising or when it comes to you like doing stuff and getting stuff done and how ambitious you are, you're lazy. You just kind of sit there. You get other people to do all your work and you're unmotivated. Like who's going to want to be in a relationship with you? Like who's going to want to talk to you? You can't even, like, not to be rude, but you can't even articulate yourself, but you're the richest person in the entire world. Like the most important thing is not money, it is ambition, right? Like you need to have the ambition to see yourself in a certain place. You can have zero money but a lot of ambition, and that can draw people towards you. You can have a lot of money and zero ambition and people want nothing to do with you except for your money or something like that. Like would you want to be in a relationship where the only thing people see in you is money? Like, do you understand? Ambition is very important, and it is very important when it comes to goal setting. So when you look at your goals for yourself, you need to factor in ambition, and ambition can also be a value. It can also be that's a value based goal. Your value is ambition, so that's the goal that you set for yourself. So now that we've covered social media's goals versus our goals and the way that we decide to set goals away from social media, like our goals are not monetary, our goals are value driven. So whatever our values are, that's how we're gonna interact with the world. So if our value is kindness, we're gonna go and do research on how to be the kindest person that we can possibly be. Now, what if our value is the same thing that is being valued in social media? What if our value is money? Like, what do we do if our value is that? Well, it's fine if your value is that, but then you need to start thinking away from social media. You can't think, oh, I'm gonna make $1 bazillion in X amount of days. Like, no, you need to relax and calm down a little bit. And um, here's another person. I'm like thinking of a name. Okay, I'm just gonna go with Mila. Yeah, Mila. Okay, so let's have another person. Okay, now what you're looking at on the screen is Ralph Lauren, and you're looking at a bunch of polo necks. Now I'm gonna explain why in a minute. Okay, so let's look at another person. Her name is Miller, and her goal in life is that she wants monetary gain. So, what does Miller do in order to gain money, but that isn't in the same way that social media expects her to gain money? So, what Miller wants really deeply in life, maybe, is let's say she wants single Ralph Lauren polo neck. And now you might be like, no, why would Miller want that? That's not financial freedom, that's a shirt. Even though it's an expensive shirt, what can it do for her? Now, the way that Miller is thinking, if I can afford that shirt, name, I wouldn't just buy that shirt. That would probably mean that I have more money, right? Than just that shirt. Like, I don't want enough money to just buy a shirt. Because what am I going to eat? I'm not going to eat the shirt. I'm not going to eat fabric, guys. So Miller is thinking, okay, so I need the shirt, and then I also need rent, and then I also need this, and I also need that. So Miller needs to be in a financially secure position where she can buy herself the Ralph Lauren polo neck shirt and still have money to sustain herself, to sustain her family, to sustain all of the ambitions that she would like to pursue. And then Miller needs to sort of work from there. So that's what devaluing social media goals are, and then focusing on what you would actually want and what you aspire towards. So now Miller is going to look at things from that perspective. She's going to think, not only do I want money, but I also want financial freedom, right? So she doesn't just want the polo neck, she wants financial freedom. See, but different from social media, because all social media would have said is get the luxury car, but then you don't know what that person is eating tonight, but they have a luxury car, you see? So you need to look and take a step away from social media's goals. That's actually all advice that I have for today, but there's plenty more to come. And if there's any more advice that I can think of, obviously I'm going to continue making videos. And I really enjoyed just discussing social media goals versus personal goals and how you can adjust value based goals in order to get what you would like to achieve. But I would just like to leave you with a reminder of the person who is rich but has zero ambition and what type of person that leads them to be. Having zero ambition is not a good thing. You need to have ambition, you need to have the drive, you need to have the want to achieve things. You can't be lazy, you can't slack off, and you can't just sit there and allow life to pass you by. And even if things are coming to you easily, that's not necessarily a good thing. You need to be growing yourself, and you need to be focusing on your personal development if you want to get anywhere good in life. Anyways, that's all for today. Thank you.